On tap, Hangar 24 Orange Wheat. Hi, I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority. Today we are drinking Orange Wheat from the Hangar 24 Craft Brewery. This beer was sent to us by the brewery. Thanks, Nick Valente. We will be reviewing in a blind taste test format so the reviewers are not swayed by the marketing of the beer or by the fact that it was free. The brewery is located in Redlands, California, near the airport, and started churning out beer in 2008. Founder Ben Cook is a private pilot, and that is why there is an aviation theme on the label. Orange Wheat is brewed with 2-row barley and malted white wheat, but I was told by the brewery that the hops are top secret. At 4.6% ABV and 17 IBUs, you can expect a light, sessionable ale. They use whole, locally grown oranges in this pale wheat ale. You should drink it out of a Weizen glass at 42 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's not recommended for celery, so make sure you drink it fresh. All right, the blind taste test begins. Now, Chef, we have something bizarre going on here. We've actually tasted each other's beers and smelled each other's beers. And what would you like to report on that?
So, I mean, in essence, we have two separate beers coming out of the same six-pack. I mean, from the information that you were giving me that this is from the same six-pack, the beer that I have, that I'm tasting, has like a honey and lemon flavor characteristics. Same on the nose. It's got a very sweet, lemony flavor. And then the beer right here, we got it's kind of like a caramelized orange peel, where you got more of a heavier caramel citrus flavor, but it's sweeter, I think. And obviously, you can even see from the color profile right there. I mean, those are two different colors right there. I mean, darker, obviously. So,
and Kevin, I mean, are you experiencing the same thing on this?
You know, I am. It's very sessionable. It's light. You definitely get that aftertaste of some orange. Not too hoppy. It lingers a little bit. Overall, it's good. I'm curious to find out what it is afterwards and see if it truly is the same beer, and just what it is out of curiosity.
Yeah. When you say it's sessionable, like when could you see yourself drinking a beer like this?
It definitely seems like more of a summertime beer, or perhaps watching sports. You know, or being January, I don't know. It's a little light this time of year, I think.
Mm-hmm. So before noon.
It's a breakfast beer.
Ryan, the big difference, and I will say it is dramatic difference between the two beers.
Yeah.
Do you have any guesses? I mean, you're a home brewer, but maybe that's beyond your expertise. But do you have any guesses of why they would taste so differently?
Well, we're talking a little bit that maybe it was a difference in pouring, but I don't think that's the case. If there was a lot of sediment or something in there that would be changing the color that much, there would be a difference in the haziness. And side by side, they're equally hazy. I just have a much darker beer with a very different flavor and very different aroma from the beer you have. One thing that can darken beers is oxidation. If you're making starters to propagate yeast, the wort will, as it's being fermented, will darken if you have oxygen coming in there.
Okay.
I'm not getting a whole lot of.
So potentially two different batches, basically.
But what's the potential that on a bottling line, they're going to have two different batches of beer in a six-pack?
This may be the one six-pack.
I mean, it might be like that last six-pack. I mean, that's the only thing that.
Yeah, they may have two bottling lines coming into one common packaging system.
How would you describe this beer to people? Like, let's say we took the beers and we mixed them all into the same vat, and that average beer that we're getting,
some shade in between.
How would you describe a beer like this to someone at home?
It's a very light-bodied beer. Definitely citrus. As Kevin was saying, I'm not getting much at all in the way of any sort of hops. It's just citrus and kind of light-flavored, light-charactered beeriness underneath that.
So they're all citrusy. Yours is just a little more caramely.
More orangey than lemon.
You know, I can see it being a good beer for somebody who's newer to craft beer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the higher hop beers are a little too much up front for somebody who hasn't experienced it in and develop the palate. But this could be that entry level into craft for somebody, perhaps.
I mean, that's kind of how I see it. I see it as like a summer day beer or entry level beer. You know, when you're looking for something different than Miller Lite, but something with a little bit more flavor, a little bit more intrigue. Chef, what would you rate this beer?
I'm gonna go 5. I mean, I think it's an average beer. It's a beer, but I'm between 5 and a 6, just because there is some flavor characteristic to it, and I don't think that. I mean, it as far as like a sessional beer, like we're talking about, like lawnmower beer or something like that. You know, out on a hot summer day, it's a thirst quencher. I mean, it's got all the characteristics to quench thirst, but I don't think it's anything that I would really go out of my way to purchase on a regular basis.
Okay. Kevin?
I'd say a 6. There'd be a time of year where I definitely would enjoy this. I have a pretty wide range of taste in beer, but again, there's a time I would buy a 6-pack of this and be happy that I had it.
Okay. Ryan?
I'm at a 5 as well. It's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, we've got a little weirdness going on that maybe well, there's something not quite right, but there's not really something wrong with it. So I mean, it's definitely a beer that I can drink and enjoy it for what it is. I would be interested to try it the way it's supposed to be, I guess.
Yeah, which one is that?
Yeah.
They are very different. Well, let's just reveal the beer. From Redlands, California, it's Hangar 24's Orange Wheat. We received this free from the brewery. So straight from the brewery to our house, which, maybe they had a bunch of bottles sitting around and they just put them in the package for us.
So I would assume that you two got the correct flavored, because I mean, I'm not getting out of this specific beer. I don't get an orange.
I mean, it's made with whole oranges, so they throw the whole orange in there.
I guess, that could...
I mean, I'm definitely getting orange, so...
I mean, does this kind of match up with what you were describing of a beer before?
Yeah, it does. Again, I'd see it as a good beer. I could see if I had a party and a wide variety of people there, it'd be a good, safe beer to have that my craft friends, my non-craft beer drinkers alike would probably all pick one up and drink without complaining. But again, it's more of a summer beer than a winter beer, I'd say.
Chef,
Yeah.
Does the carpet match the curtains?
Talking about the beer?
I think so.
Let me check here real quick. No. I think to an extent, when you talk about using the whole oranges and making this kind of organic, and it's a local, they're using the whole orange, they're using locally grown oranges. You will, orange to orange, you're going to get some flavor differentials, and I think this beer speaks to that. When you talk about an orange beer and using locally grown oranges, that's what you're getting, is different flavor characteristics, which I think that is a positive to this beer. I think, like I said, it's a drinkable beer, both sides of it. I think that's probably the intrigue for me, is that, when you're using these local oranges, I bet you the next 6-pack that you get is going to be different from even these two that we had.
The more consistent it is, the farther removed from the agricultural
processes. Exactly. I think if you, because again, they're using the whole orange. They're not using orange extract. They're not taking the juice and mixing it all together. They're using the whole orange, which you can't help but get flavor differentials from that.
Okay. Well, Hangar 24's Orange Wheat gets a 5.3 on the BBA scale. That's what we think. What do you think? Have you had this beer from Redlands, California? Let us know in the comments section. My name is James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority.